Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good.
Good.
I'm excited to be here.
I am glad you're here too.
I'm Dr. Dana,
Yep, I'm Laura.
and this is Business Besties in Branson.
Yes, it is. And guess what? This is going to be such an awesome session because guess who's here?
Well, I know.
I know, but tell everybody because
I'm
this
excited.
is awesome. I know.
Yes, I'm excited because my sister is here from Illinois. Don't hold that against her, please. But she's here from Illinois, and she knows so much that I think will help women and people in general, not just business owners and not just women. So, hello. Tell us. You said don't tell us something about you. So tell us your name. How about that?
I'm Janine Gurley,
And where do you work?
Scott Credit Union.
Okay, so Scott Credit Union, it's not a bank because I had said, oh, yeah, you work at a bank.
No, it's a credit union.
Okay.
So wait, hold on. What's the difference between a bank and a credit union?
Did not tell her. Don't ask me that.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to put me on the spot.
No, I know that there are differences, and actually a lot of people I talk to, they prefer credit unions over banks. And in fact, Jen Bowerman, she goes to a credit union.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's advising us.
Right,
So there's
she
got to be
is.
something
To go
about
to a
this
credit
credit unions. Yeah.
Right. I know that we have a board that makes, everyone votes, but they're not paid.
Okay.
And at a bank, their board members are paid.
Okay.
So they're all volunteers.
Well, that makes a huge difference right there.
So do you think that credit unions care for the individual members more so than maybe larger banks? Would you say that's a difference?
I think so. For Scott Credit Union, we do.
Okay.
It's about the member. So we want to build that relationship to start from the beginning and go through all their processes. So getting your first checking account, savings account, checking account, and then you can just work your way up. Help with student loans. We don't do student loans, but we can help you with that.
Oh, I never heard of bank helping you with student loans.
Oh, no.
Like
No.
ever.
Right.
That's the first time I ever heard that.
Well, and what I also heard is like a relationship. So I don't ever think about a bank and a relationship, but we learned that in our business class on Thursday. They said, go to the bank and start building relationships with people. So do people really do that?
At a bank?
At your credit union, do they do that?
Yes.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
Wow.
you do. You go in, you want to meet them, introduce yourself,
Wow.
and just learn about them. What do they want? What are your goals? Where do you want to go? How can we help you? Oh, you need a new home. We'll help you with your mortgage, everything.
Wow, I never really thought about that.
I never did either,
No.
actually, which is probably why Branson Bank gives chocolate chip cookies.
Oh.
Think about it, because you come in, you smell chocolate chip cookies, and you immediately are like warmed up to the environment, talking to people, and it's like you've come off your guard because of chocolate chip cookies. And it's all about, they're trying to build a relationship.
They are. Yep.
Yeah. Oh,
Well,
there
and
you
I can
go.
be bought with chocolate chip cookies. Give me cookies. Whitmore gave us a look like, oh, God. Like, is this a real thing?
No, it is, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yes.
It is. You can pay me off with chocolate chip cookies. So I know that we talked about this because I did buy a car, and then you're like, what? You bought a car and you didn't talk to me about it?
Right.
And then we talked about different things in getting a loan that I had no idea and feel like a complete idiot. And just for the record, I have a doctorate degree and I had no clue about these things because they don't teach this where, whatever. So tell me what I should have done because I think that would help people, not just women, but other people and maybe me next time I buy a car.
When you bought your car?
No, because to get a loan for it.
Right. Well, you didn't go in and get pre-approved.
No.
So you didn't know what you could afford and what you could not afford. You didn't know what interest rates were available to you.
Oh, my God. Holy on. I'm like, ooh, don't look my direction.
Right. And what dealership did you go to?
Right. And we went to one in Illinois and we are just like, this is the car we want. And they're like, okay.
It is
let's
a
get
big dealership and
Right.
it's a partner with us, which is fine. But there are other dealerships. Just do your research on them
But I
beforehand.
didn't.
But you did not. But you
No.
did go with a good one, so it's okay.
Okay, that's okay.
You passed the
Right.
test.
Well, and I was interested in too, I just filled out the paperwork, I need to get a loan for this car because obviously I don't have this much cash in my pocket. And so I just trust the dealership to get me a loan. But what actually happens in that process?
When you do your loan application,
Yeah.
they run it through all of their partners, whether they're with credit unions or with banks.
So how many can they run it through? You give them permission to
You have to specifically tell them. So you go, I only want it through Scott Credit Union. When I go, they know me, so they know to only run it through Scott Credit Union. But for anyone else,
If you
whatever
don't tell them,
bank if you don't go through, it depends on how many relationships they have.
okay,
So if they have, we have dealerships with 15, 20 relationships, they're going to run it through those 20. Now you have 20 hits on your credit. You go to the next dealership because you're shopping.
oh my gosh,
And you find a car, they're going to run your credit because let's see if I like this car. And now you have
my
all
gosh.
these hits
I had
on
no
your
idea.
credit, and it goes down each time you go. So don't go car shopping. Go car shopping online.
Wow,
Look at what you want,
right?
and then go test drive your car.
Oh my gosh, I had no idea.
And
And
don't-
walk in with the knowledge that I've got pre-approved. Don't tell them.
right?
Mhm.
Okay,
Don't give them that max amount.
Mm-hmm.
okay.
You know, this is what I have. You don't deal with cash down. Don't tell them that you have cash down. Nope, I don't have any.
okay.
You save that for the finance guy at the end.
Okay.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Oh yeah. Well, that's true.
I didn't
yeah.
do that
Yes.
either. I'm like, hey, I got some money and I need to buy myself a car. Shoot.
Yes.
I feel like a complete idiot. And I actually thought I knew what I was doing because I'm like, I know what kind of car I want.
I
And-
I wouldn't have known either.
Yeah.
Okay, so all those hits against my credit, I don't even know how many, but I did. I mean, I was getting like things in the mail like, hey, your credit score was checked, or hey, and I'm like, what the heck? And
Or,
I
I'm
just pitch it.
sorry, you were not approved
Yes.
at XYZ Bank. And you're like,
Yes.
this is fraud. Somebody ran my credit.
Sure.
We get those notices at Scott Credit Union. We have to research them for this person.
Right.
Like, oh, you went to this dealership. This is why you're receiving it.
Wow.
And they had no idea.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't realize that we give permission like that. So does that only happen with car loans or does that happen?
I only
in-
work with car loans.
Okay. Okay.
So you do a personal loan, you're going with your bank or credit union, you're just running it through that bank or
Okay.
credit union.
But it would be a
So-
good question to ask, like, hey, are you going to run my credit? And who are you running my credit through? Right?
Correct.
Because I'm not going to give you permission to run it 6 or 7 times because that's going to kill my
Correct.
credit.
Oh sure.
Yes.
Dang.
Yes.
Dang, I had no idea. And then you had mentioned something else that I thought was really interesting. I didn't know that dealership, when they're looking at your offers, tell me about that
Oh.
because this is, gosh.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to think this through so I don't
Okay.
mess this part up. But so you have dealer partners. Okay, the banks, the credit unions do. So, with the credit unions. So you go in and you are going to go with Scott Credit Union, just, humor, 5%, right? The dealers are paid a certain reserve on that amount. Okay. But then they're like, oh, well, that's only whatever percent. So you run it through another bank and you get it 10%, but that dealer's going to earn 4% reserve.
Okay.
So the deal, you won't ever know about this lower rate because
Sure.
the dealer,
Yeah, they're going to go with their
they wanna
whatever
go
they're
where
going to
they
get the
make
most.
money. Correct. And you won't even know that. So that's why
my
go get
gosh.
pre-approved at where you want to do your banking. Who do you want to do your loan with?
I had no idea.
I didn't either.
Yes.
No.
I had no idea.
Which all that helps the dealership out because they don't want to, it makes it easy on them too. Sometimes not. But when
Right.
you go in there, you need that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm looking for a car, but I'm going through this bank, this credit union. This is the amount. This is what I'm looking for.
Well,
That's
and,
a game changer.
and I know, and I totally understand that dealerships want to take care of themselves and that they have to earn
Right.
some
Sure.
money. But at the same time, I'm like, I just trusted you to take care of me.
Yes.
And I don't know if you really did or not. You
Right.
took care of you, but I
Right.
don't know if you
But
took care
you
of
go
me.
in there with that knowledge,
Yeah.
then they know, and
It-
then they just kind of, okay, let's go look at this. And then
Right.
they take care of you because they know that you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about this. Let's talk about the money side, the warranty, the gap. So you share that information with
Right.
them, and then you get that trusting. So there's nothing, you're not uncomfortable at the dealership because you're talking with them.
Right.
So instead of them throwing all this stuff into your loan, they
Yeah.
know, oh, they're on a budget. They already
Mhm.
have this plan. So let's make all these products work that fit in your package.
Nice.
Wow. I did not
And
even
now
know you could
have
do
a
that.
relationship with that dealer.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. So you said Gap, and I bought a Gap plan. Did I need that?
I recommend it.
I would say
Okay.
I
Oh,
do. I think
I
you should.
do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
okay.
do. I know some insurance companies have it,
Okay.
but I totally, because as soon as you drive your car off the lot, it depreciates. So
Right.
you get you get it totaled, and then what your loan doesn't pay, then Gap comes in and pays for it.
Okay. And
So-
should you carry Gap for a long time or like the whole time of the loan?
I
Or
think it stays on there the whole time.
okay. But at some point you own more of the car than it's.
You eventually will.
So
right.
can you call and cancel that?
That changes too. So you cancel it. There may not be anything there to cancel, so you won't get it back. If you cancel
okay.
it when you know that you'll get that refund,
Right.
that's defeating your whole purpose of having Gap.
Okay.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
So then
So
it's
just-
not going to be covered.
Pay it and don't worry about it.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think I did
do.
call you and say, do I need Gap? Okay, I'm
Yeah.
getting Gap. And you said yes. And you're like,
Yeah.
are you buying a car? I'm like, oh, yeah, I already did. You're like, what? Did you go to the
It's okay.
dealer?
But then
I
once
know.
I knew where you went and
I know.
and the reasons behind that, I was
Right.
like, no, you're fine.
Okay.
You're fine.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. That's good information that if we do our homework, do some research beforehand, we can go in with that knowledge. Yeah.
So when you go to a bank, a credit union, or anything, what kind of a credit score do you have to qualify for a car loan?
So for our department, which is the indirect department, we work with dealerships. You need to have a 740 to a 620. So that's an A plus, 740 or higher. 620 is our C score. So,
Wow.
so you can go lower, but then that's just with Scott Credit Union.
Mhm.
So other places are different.
So if you don't have a 640 where you are, you just say, sorry, we're not going
620.
to. Oh,
Yeah,
620. We're not going to give you
we
a
can't,
loan.
We can't.
Okay.
Correct, because we don't even have rates for that.
Okay.
Okay, so if you have a lower credit score, you've got a higher interest rate,
You do,
and then compared to
compared to, the A plus.
which is so funny because the people who have the lower credit score need the lower interest
Right.
rate.
They do.
I know. But, with the economy,
know.
how it is, rates are just really, really high.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
and you have to protect the loan. I mean, ultimately, it's more of a
You
risk.
do.
Right.
Correct.
So,
Yeah.
I kind of get that. Yeah.
I do too. And then you think about, oh, well, that's just my personal credit score. It doesn't matter. But now suddenly I'm opening a business. Does my personal credit score matter?
Well, it does, because everything falls under your name, your social, and everything. Yes,
Yeah.
it does.
It does. So if I don't have a great credit score, I might not want to open my business just yet, right?
Correct. You
Okay.
would need to pull that credit, so you can pull through TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax free every year. But you
Okay.
have to go to their websites directly. You answer a couple of questions, and they email it to you, and it's free. So then
Okay.
you pull it. You can work on, if you have collections, work on those small ones up to the ones that hopefully you can work on. So, and do it that way. I've never had it where bankruptcy comes in, so I
Right.
don't know anything about that. But we pulled ours when I first started with Scott Credit Union, because I work here. Let's see where we're going.
Right.
Husband's the same way. So we just started with the small collections, worked our way up, and
That's
and there
awesome.
you do. Yes.
I didn't think about doing that either.
Yeah,
Well,
and do
that's-
it every
yeah.
year. So then you'll catch if there's fraud, if there's something weird going on that you weren't aware of.
And you say we should pull it from all three of them?
There's differences between each one, and you get it free, so why not?
Okay.
Yeah.
So, how do you know, like, when you pull these credit reports, how do you know what you should do to improve them? I mean, I wouldn't know. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I need a better score, but how do you know, just looking at, like, what is my first plan of action for a credit score? I don't even know. Like,
I
what
don't
do you do?
either.
Yeah.
Like if I even saw it in front of me, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's nice. Is that 400, 7? I don't know.
No, that's
Whatever.
40.
Oh,
40,
40,
dang it.
40. Oh, yeah. My score's 40. God help us.
I know there's links out there that you can look at that will explain what everything means. That's how we learn too. Even with working at Scott Credit Union, you take training so you know what to read. But you can
Okay.
call them and they can help you explain that.
Okay.
And there's real people like that they will help. Yeah.
Yes, they can help answer your questions, but then you get that relationship at your credit union
Yeah.
and you walk in there and you're like, I have no clue what this says.
Mm-hmm.
We're trained.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
turn it around. Let us look at this. Let us help you.
Wow.
look at those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And give you advice from there.
Well, and what you said earlier, like, that is a consideration when starting a business. If you're going to have a business that requires a lot of upfront cash,
Right.
well, you better figure it out because the bank may not be the best option.
True.
Investors may not be the best option. Maybe working on yourself for a year
Right. That would be a
is your
good
best
idea.
option. I mean, it's smart planning.
I think so
So-
too. And in that planning, yeah, because you don't even think about that. Like, wow, my
know.
credit score could impact my business. And then I'm not even sure how to read my credit score if I get it.
Yeah.
So
Or how to
what
improve it. What are we doing here?
I know. I don't know. This is why I love having people come in because then, they make us think about things that we don't think about.
Yeah.
Because I don't wake up in the morning and say, oh, credit score, what are you? Now I do know people use like Credit Karma and things like that on their phone. What do you recommend that?
I don't.
Okay.
Just because if there's a dispute, you can't dispute that through those. You have to go directly to TransUnion to dispute that transaction. So Credit Karma, if you contact us because there's something that you've seen, but it's on
Right.
your Credit Karma, we can't dispute that.
Okay.
You have to pull TransUnion or Equifax and show us that here, it's on here. We can try to dispute that with you.
Okay. So you would actually help dispute. Like,
There's a different department for that. But
Okay,
if
but
I
they
get
will.
the phone call, then I do
Right.
direct them to that department. Yes.
wow.
And they'll
Well,
help
that's
dispute
helpful
that.
to know.
Well,
Yeah.
that Credit Karma, I don't know. I don't have it either. And here's
either.
why. Because I always feel like the more things you have, like on your phone and all, it's more likely to get hacked. And that's a lot of information
That's
that
true.
you do not have to have an app like that. There are other resources that are safer. Sorry, Credit Karma. You will probably
Right.
never advertise with us again.
Right.
Or ever. but you do think about those things. In the world of everything getting hacked, it's like, that's a lot of personal information in one app. And, if the IRS is getting hacked, I'm sure Credit Karma is too.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just would be leery of something like that.
I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. So you say if we get it though, start small, like just pay off those small little ones, or can you dispute them and then maybe?
If there's ones that you don't know what they're for, contact them
Okay.
and see. They'll send you that information. And then you just go from there. If you're like, no, this isn't mine, then go through that process with them to get that taken off.
But it takes time.
It
right?
does.
Dang.
It does.
I know. I just want to like swipe and delete.
Oh, I wish it worked that
All
way.
right.
Me too.
Nope.
Right.
Nope.
Not mine. Not mine.
I'd have perfect credit then.
Ooh, yeah.
Right.
Well, what is a perfect credit score?
Yeah. What is a perfect
Yeah,
credit
I don't have
score?
any clue.
My goodness, I've seen them at 740. I've seen over 800.
Really?
So yeah. And
Wow.
Wow.
And it just ranges from how people just do it. They manage their trade lines, their credit cards, they manage all that.
right.
But then you see some that are so low that you're like, why are they this low?
What's the lowest that you've ever seen?
Oh, in the 400s. So I mean,
400s, okay.
I don't even know if you can get a loan at a bank with something that low.
Okay.
It's got credit union, you won't. But still, why are they a 400?
Right.
You don't see anything on there. But then those are just little red flags too. Because as I know, sometimes when you file bankruptcy, or usually that's what it is, there's other people you can pay to clear out your credit report, and they start you off at a 0,
Wow.
that means you have no credit. So
right.
now
So now you
you're-
have to build
So
credit.
now you have to build that credit up. But,
Okay.
so slowly you're at a 400 and you're like, well, maybe that's why.
Okay.
But you don't know their past history from that
Sure.
credit bureau. So you're
Sure.
more hesitant too. So it's
That
just,
makes sense.
and all 3 of them report differently. So that's why I just say, just get all 3 so you can look at them and see.
So if I got them and I'm in the 700s, I should be okay.
You'll be okay.
I'll be okay.
Right.
Okay. No matter where I go with the relationship
Should
I
be
have.
fine. Correct.
But start a good relationship.
Yes.
So then if I do drop, the bank might call me or the credit union and say, hey, girl, what happened here? Right? Like, oh, yeah, I went and bought a car and I didn't talk to my sister first.
Right.
What about people like if they've had their identity stolen? Have you ever run across that with people coming in wanting loans and oh my gosh, and maybe they didn't even know it had been stolen and they're like, what in the world?
A lot of them we see that they've already know about it, so they have warnings. And before we can even make a decision on that loan, we have to contact them. There's a series of questions we ask to verify that it's really you that's making that. And we've come across ones where we'll call, they're like, what? I'm sitting at my house. I am not at this dealership. I didn't do anything. And then we just stop right there. And, we tell them, I'm glad it's blocked because nothing got pulled. We couldn't see anything at all. And we flag that application for fraud, contact the dealership so they're aware of it too. And then it all stops. So,
Oh my gosh, can
I
you
had no idea.
imagine?
Wow.
Oh,
Yeah. Have you made that phone call several times, or you just
to call, yes.
Yes.
Oh, on a daily basis, we have to call. So,
Wow.
not to tell them it's fraud, but
Okay.
to clear the fraud.
Right.
I've probably had maybe 2 or 3 that we've actually had to stop and do. But then we get them in after the fact, too. So we have to deal with those, too, where it's possible fraud and just a lot going on in the world. So,
oh my gosh. Can you imagine? I mean, what a nightmare. I mean, and how does a person recover if someone's stolen their identity? How do you prove it?
I think it's very hard to. We had ours, somebody filed unemployment, and my employer calls me and they're like, oh, so you want to tell me something, because they knew it wasn't me.
Right.
Because I was working there. But somebody got a hold of my social, filed unemployment and the whole bit. So I had to lock everything down and I can't go to the store and apply for store credit because I have it locked. I have to go in and unlock it. And
holy cow.
Yeah.
Well,
That's
first of all, I didn't even know
safer.
you could lock it down. What does
I
that
didn't
mean?
either. Yeah, what does that
call
mean?
TransUnion. If you have identity theft, it's free.
Okay.
They do offer, like, you can pay so much. They lock it down. So when you go to Home Depot, you know how they're always like, oh, you want to apply for this card, you get $25 off. I can't because I have to log in, do a PIN number, answer questions, tell them, yes, open it for 1 hour, or you can open it for a day. When we were looking for a car, we opened it right there at the dealership. I'm on the phone with them. As soon as they ran credit, they looked and we locked it. And I
did
get
not
on
know
and
you
lock
could
it
do
again.
that.
I had no idea.
No,
Yes.
me either.
Wow.
You sure can.
So then nobody would be able to run credit without your permission.
Correct.
And that's only on TransUnion, or is it
I think
Experian?
all three of them do offer it. TransUnion's just my
Well,
favorite
you know what?
one.
It's
so
really
I
not a
use.
bad idea to lock it down regardless.
Correct.
I mean, if you don't need to be out there having credit.
No.
Right. But just remember when you go shopping or you're doing to be like, oh, that's right. Let me open this up. And you get right on and open it and close it as soon as they're done.
Okay, so we're going to have this recording saved on my phone. So when I go to, Hobby Lobby or
Right.
one of these places, right? I'm like, oh, yeah, I need a credit card. I'm like, no, you can't do
No.
it. I'm like, what?
I think TransUnion every time. I'm like, I'm so glad it's
That
locked.
is true, though, because then you're
I'm not
not
tempted.
getting credit that you
No,
don't need.
That's right.
Nice.
That's right.
Does
And
it
you have
stop the
control over it.
advertisements?
Oh,
But-
no, that would be nice.
Oh,
no,
that's
it
okay.
doesn't. You still get the junk mail and
Oh,
all
they don't
that.
know.
Nah,
They don't
no.
know.
Interesting.
No.
But what a more powerful position to just say, I can't mess with that. That's locked already. So for me, that would be then I don't even have to worry about it. That's locked. It's not even a thought on my mind. Instead of that temptation, instead of that, oh yeah, maybe we do need to get a credit card, right? It's 20% off, right? But then they're going to charge us 30% in interest over the next whatever, right?
Correct.
Right.
And
so,
not get that bill for a month. So how much
Right.
more did you spend in that month?
True.
And now you get the bill and you're like, I didn't know I spent that much. So
Yeah.
Easy to do, too.
Very.
Oh my gosh. Very easy
Very
to
easy.
do.
I know. Oh, my goodness.
Because I always want to buy stuff I don't need, and then they always want to give me some money that I don't need to spend either.
The positive spin on all of that, if you had to spend a year to work on your credit,
Mhm.
think of what you could do with your business. You could be, in the meantime, doing your business plan, start working on marketing plans. You could do so much of the back end work so that when you're ready to go, you got all that work done, which we know takes forever.
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. So,
And you have that year that you're building a relationship with your credit union, with your bank, and they're helping you. So then you can almost celebrate together, look, I got a car, or look, I got a loan, or look,
instead of having all that done, walk in to get a loan to start your business,
right.
and they can't do anything for you. So you spent that whole time preparing, and you can't even
And
do
now you
that
can't
next
get a
step.
loan.
Oh, yeah. And we know a business plan takes forever.
Right.
And so if you had your bank in the meantime going, I'm working on my business plan, you can have your bank help you on the business plan. They know about it. And man, you're right. Building a relationship could be huge
Right.
towards your business.
Yep.
I really
So-
like that advice.
I do too.
Yeah.
Well, and part of it is like, I don't think people realize they go to start an LLC. It's like, oh, I have to have a bank account. You go to the bank, they're like, we need your articles of organization and we need to have this and we need to have that. And you're like, oh
What?
my God,
Right.
what?
Mhm.
So now you can get all that done beforehand.
Yep.
Get
Right.
it all
That's
taken
right.
care of.
Yep.
Then you're ready.
And work on your own credit, which I think that's phenomenal. Because I think a lot of people just blindly do not think about their credit, and just, I know I did. You know,
Yeah,
like
no,
I don't even want to think
yeah,
about it.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And it probably sucks. So I definitely don't want to think about it. But if you take control over it, you can make it better and then lock it out and not think about it. I really
That's
like
right.
that.
And I think one of the things you need to think about too is maybe not taking all the TikTok advice that's out there.
Yeah.
You hear some of these things, they're like, if you do this and this and this, and I'm like, I'm not sure I would take that advice, sir. Like, oh my God, I think that's going to ruin your credit.
Right.
So be smart about it.
Yes,
you ever
and
see
not,
one?
and not, no, I haven't, but I was thinking of how we were talking about your credit cards. So don't go
right.
close all your credit cards. So you pull that TransUnion, you're like, oh, I forgot about all these open cards. So you start closing them. No, you just dropped your credit score because now you closed up all that available credit that you had, and now you don't have it. So just leave them.
Right. I didn't think
I
about
didn't
that
even
either.
think
Yeah.
about
No.
that. And I've done that before too.
Right. Just
Yeah.
close them and get rid of
Yes.
them
Yeah.
is what I think.
Right.
But really, that's credit to help me. Right.
I haven't pulled a
Yeah.
credit report in so many years.
I know.
I'm like-
maybe we should.
I think I will.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get it for
Go
once a
to the
year.
site,
Right.
Yes,
So-
but go to the site.
The
Don't,
actual
don't,
site.
Like, don't Google it. 'Cause
Okay.
then you get
Okay.
all these other like, oh, this is TransUnion, but it's not. It's an ad.
Right.
So make sure you read that it's just TransUnion.
actual-
So
Actually,
TransUnion, Experian, and
Equifax.
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 Okay.
Sure can.
Okay. And then just go there and I don't know if I want to know. Like,
I don't know because you know me. There's certain things
Yeah.
I'm like I ain't never paying that off. I don't care how it affects my credit.
Right.
Like,
But
not.
then you already know.
Yeah.
Right.
Then you know it's there.
Yeah.
But
And when you go
what's
to-
there that you don't know?
Well, yeah, I don't
that's
even
so-
know. Like I don't even
Right.
know
Right.
Correct.
Again, you don't know what you don't know.
because you know what? This is crazy. So we got a call from Discover a few weeks ago, and John's like, "Why is Discover calling me?" I'm like, "Well, I don't know because we have an automatic. They pay it every month. It just pays." And so he's like, "I'm like, well." I answer it. I don't know what they're
Right.
going to say. And they're like, you haven't made your payment. And I'm like, that's scam. That's
Right.
spam right there. They're scamming you. So they called like several more times and John just did it. So finally he comes to me one day and he goes, this is last week. He goes, Discover's on the phone. I accidentally picked it up. I said, let me talk to him. And so I'm like, hey, I know that you're calling saying we owe you money, but I know for a matter of fact, I went to our Discover account, looked at it, went to the bank. We made the payment. Came out of the bank. I look at my statements. We don't owe money. So I'm not exactly sure why you're calling. And she was like, you owe $70. I'm like, no, ma'am, I do not. And so she came back in a minute. She's like, I have no idea why it says that. She said, you don't owe any money. And I'm like,
Wow.
well, so in the end, it really was Discover. But why did they do that? Which I told her, I said, well, I told my husband not to answer the phone. I said, because I figured you were scamming me. I said, but we ain't getting any more money out of me. So, but, so what triggered that though? Like, I don't know. And she didn't know, but like, why all of a sudden so it makes me wonder, like, maybe I need to go check this out.
Right. And see what's on your credit.
Yeah.
And maybe credit cards you didn't know you had. I know we got a letter that said like, hey, you haven't used this credit card in 2 years. We're going to cancel it if you don't. I'm like, what? And then when I told her, she's like, oh, no, don't cancel it. Like, use the card, pay it, and then move on.
Yeah.
So we keep that available credit open. I had no idea to do that either because I really thought like close it and then you're better.
Well, yeah, we did that too. We found a credit card and John's like, hey, we have a credit card. I'm like, where'd it come from? He goes, I don't even know. I'm like, is it any good?
Right.
I'm like, don't use it. And I'm like, maybe we should use it.
Uh-huh.
I don't
Or
know.
call.
Yeah.
Try to find
Right.
out if it's still even good.
Yeah. It's one of those things. He went to Bass Pro,
Oh,
you can get a Bass Pro credit, not even for Bass Pro, but like a whatever, to get points at Bass Pro. And I'm like, seriously?
Jeff has one of those too. Yeah. And then this whole theory about like, let's just pay everything with one credit card and then write them a check at the end of the month. It's a great theory.
Yeah,
It
that's
is
a great theory.
Yeah.
But look at all the extra cash you have all month long.
Oh,
and you're
yeah.
like, oh my gosh, let's go out to eat. Let's go do this. Because then you're like, you forget about how much you have to pay at the end.
You do.
Oof.
You do.
Then you're like, that meal took me 3 months to pay off.
Oh.
That wasn't that good of a meal.
Well, unless you
It
got
was-
it from
it
the
was at
Rogue
the Rogue
Chef.
Chef,
I was going to
yes.
say, unless you got it from the Rogue Chef.
That's
we'll,
right.
Insert, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
But I hope it doesn't take you 3 months to pay it off,
No,
though, either.
I would hope not.
No. Shoot.
Whitmore keeps coming into the room, so we all keep looking back at Whitmore.
Yeah.
Whitmore is our audio producer, media producer, whatever.
He's the one that makes us look beautiful and
Yes.
sound wonderful,
And he
we
does.
love him.
He even puts little filters on so we look younger.
Yeah, isn't that nice?
That's nice.
It is nice.
Yes.
He goes, it takes longer to render. We're like, take
It's
as long
okay.
as you need.
Right. Yes.
Can we bring you something to drink while you're doing that? Like, we're happy to do
Yes,
that. Yes.
we want to look younger.
Add a little color in my hair and take off the wrinkles.
That's right.
Now he's looking at us like,
Like,
what?
what in the world?
Okay, so as somebody who works at a credit union, bank, like, what other advice would you give us? Because, man, just having conversations with you, I had no idea about the things you do.
Trying to think. Work with the dealership, so you need to read. You need to read your contract. You
Oh,
need to
yes, we
read
talked about this.
what they're having you sign.
It was like 28 pages long. And she's like, did you read that? I'm like, no. I did
No.
not read that. And there, did you see her roll her eyes? Whit, get that. Her rolling her eyes. My sister has like that's one of her skills. She can roll her
I
eyes
do.
and I can
I
hear it
do.
in the other room.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so I did not read 28 pages. I'm like, that's my name, Dr. Dana. Done.
Right. But you signed a contract.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I have no
A
idea what I
legal
signed.
contract, and you have no idea what you signed.
I bought a car.
Right.
I'm driving that car.
Right.
I have Gap insurance.
Oh my gosh, this is kind of scary. What
I-
is there to
I
say
know.
in 28
I
pages?
have no idea.
It's just to know what you signed. So the dealership, which I know which one you went to,
Right.
but they are supposed to literally go through, this is your rate, this was your interest, this is your overall principal balance, the whole bit.
I think I heard it. It sounded like yada, 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 yada. And I'm like,
Right.
yeah, can I sign? We got to go.
Right, right. And don't be in a hurry. It is not a 30-minute deal when you get a car. Expect to be there a while.
Oh, man.
So
Did he say 50% interest? Sounds good. All right.
Yeah,
I'll
right.
sign.
Yeah, because my husband's already in the car. He's got Bon Jovi playing, and my seat is warm. So, what other signatures do you
oh
need?
my goodness.
So, like, we seriously laugh about this, but it's not. It's not funny.
It is kind of funny, though. Sorry. We're laughing at our own stupidity.
That's exactly it. Because I don't know what else to do. And the worst part is that I thought I was doing the right thing because I'm like, I know what car I want to buy, and this is how much money we're paying, and this is what we're doing, and I am rocking this because I'm 50 years old buying a car, right? And like I've bought cars before and like stupid, made mistakes. So I really felt confident going in here. And then really as we're driving off and I'm like taking pictures and I send them to the family and Janine's like, did you buy a car? And you didn't talk to me? And I'm like, what? I know what I'm doing. and I didn't. So
But just to know when they give you all the back end products, like it's
Yeah.
Gap. But did you know what Gap was when you bought it?
no, because I
No.
do I need this? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I got
but
it.
then you talk to them, they explain it to you. I mean, they can tell you it's a bumper to bumper warranty. So you
Right.
literally think bumper to bumper. No, it's not. You
It's
need
not.
to read exactly what it covers, what it doesn't cover. So you know what you're getting into. It's a big expense. Or is
Right.
it 4 years? Is it 2 years? Is it a 10,000 mile? What's the point of that?
I don't know.
Right. So they all range on the year of car you buy, everything.
Right.
So stop and ask questions before you sign it. Yes. Now, some of them you don't really need to read the whole thing, but that main page,
Okay.
it's just amazing at what you will learn. That's part of my job. We had to read all those because we have so many different contracts because each dealership has different contracts. Basic wording's all the same,
Right.
but that was our job to read through them. You're like, oh, I never knew that was there. It talks about the late pays and
And
you know,
everything's
and
in
you
there.
can't return your car when you decide 3 days later, I don't like it. No, you bought the car.
It's yours.
Wow.
It's yours.
Well, and that's great advice for business loans too.
Absolutely.
My gosh, you go to the SBA, and I swear to God, they give you 75-page booklet,
yes.
and you
I'm
have
not
an
reading
hour
that whole thing.
appointment to go through it all.
Right.
But you're right. You need to know the ins and outs
You
of
do.
what you are getting.
But if I had a good relationship with the person I was working with, I think that's what it comes down to, right?
It's the relationship.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think that's a great advice to end with. Just build a relationship and you'll do well.
And that's right. Yes, you will.
So, well, we
Okay.
have to wrap it up.
Yeah, we do.
Just-
Look how long we chatted, and you thought we'd just be here. Not at all. Janine, thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much.
Welcome.
I was
You're
so excited to
welcome.
have your sister.
I
I mean, I was
know.
just like, how fun sister time.
I didn't even tell sister stories. That's a whole nother one. It's like,
Yeah, no,
we're going.
yeah.
No sister stories. All right.
All right. Well, hey, you guys have a good evening tonight.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you
will.
later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Janine.